Okay, I'm excited about this one. Yes, it's a cheap multimeter, but it's a kit. It's actually a multimeter kit, and I think it's going to be pretty nice. So it's certainly along the lines of, you know, if you can build things that then you can use, right? I build a lot of kits that are kind of throwaway things, right? You do it once and it keeps you occupied, or something fun, something like that. But if you can build a kit that ends up being something that you can utilize in the future, you know, that's really cool. Some of the things that are cool kits that you can use forever, or something like these kits that test transistors and stuff, they identify components, capacitors, inductors, you know, what type of resistor is it, or what type of transistor is it, PNP or NPN, what's the pinout, you know. I use this thing all the time, right? And it was a kit, really, really cheap, and it's just become one of my most invaluable tools in the garage. You know, maybe you have a voltmeter, but a lot of times you need two, right? Measure current on one, voltage on the other stuff. And or somebody who's just getting into electronics, having them build something that then they can use, they can be really proud of. You know, I built this. I remember back in the Heathkit days, right? You built a lot of your own stuff, and Heathkit was great that way. My very first oscilloscope was a Heathkit oscilloscope. I bought a 2-channel, probably 20 megahertz oscilloscope, a really nice one. I mean, Heathkit built some really nice things, and I had that thing for years and years and years. I mean, that was my oscilloscope, and you know, I was quite proud of it. So let's take a look at this kit. This one came from Banggood. It was $17, right? The whole kit for $17. So you're thinking, oh, it's going to be really, really cruddy, but let's take a look at it. It says production. Let's see, digital multimeter teaching kit, DT9205A, multimeter soldering training DIY parts production kit. Yeah, 17 bucks. So let's see what you can get. What you can get for $17. It comes in a nice box. I mean, you really don't expect kits to come in boxes these days either. It says data hold, auto power, large LCD, auto zeroing, single 32 position switch. There we go, look at that. There's the main board, wow. So big switch on it. Looks very nice. Oh, there's some really good graphics and stuff. Wow, look at this thing. Wow. Yeah, let's see, where's my tray? Let's pull some things out here. Yeah, this is a cool sticky thing for the case. And oh, there's a chip on board. So the main chip is already wire bonded onto the board, so you don't have to do a surface mount thing. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if this is through hole or surface mount or what. Got some documentation here, all in Chinese. And what is this? Might be a schematic. It is a schematic. Ah, so there's some op amps and stuff. All right, that might come in handy. All right, what else do we got? A whole bunch of bags of parts. Here's some capacitors. Here's a beeper, some potentiometers and stuff. Lots of mechanical type things, switches and test pins, battery. Here's some, oh, here's the surface mount part. Oh, there are surface mount parts. Ah, they're through hole and surface mount. So these are a bunch of, there's 3 surface mount ICs down in here. Some more mechanical parts, nuts and bolts. Here's some more graphics. Yeah, let's take a look at this case. Whoa, look at this. It's a pretty good size, and it's got a rubber outside. I mean, it looks the part, right? Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Let's compare it to something. This is my big LCR meter, and yeah, it's about the same size. So yeah, definitely definitely looking good. There's a little flip up stand in the back like they mostly have. Now this rubberized material is not. It is kind of stretchy. It's not as nice as a fluke, but I think it will withstand some drops and stuff. That looks good. We also get look at this. Look at that. Oh, look at all the resistors and stuff because it's yeah. So I'll get a lot of parts to put down. So that's cool. Those are all through hole. Comes with some test leads. Oh wow, look at this. Even comes with a battery. Very cool. So yeah, let's figure out how to start this thing and go from there. I think what we want to do is we'll probably want to put those surface mount parts on. And looks like there's one here and one here and one here. I think I counted 3. So I think I might put those down and put them through the oven just because I can. You know, you're certainly welcome to solder those down yourself. They're easy to do. But I think I'll put them in the oven since I have it. And then we'll put all the through-hole parts on. I think that's the only surface mount stuff on here. All right, I've put in a couple parts. I put those surface mount parts down. I didn't like the pads that they used. They're a bit too wide for the parts, but it worked out okay. I did put, the package came with, the little plastic bag came with the surface mount parts and diodes. So I put all the diodes down as well. So there's some 1N4007s. There's a couple of those, and then there's some 1N4148s. Put those on, so that's what we have so far. So next we need to put on some resistors, I guess. So I was looking at the schematic and looking where parts placements are and stuff, and then I flipped it over and whoa, there we go. That's what really needed. It shows you where everything goes. So this is the most valuable piece of documentation in it, is the other side of the schematic. It shows you the location of all of the parts and values and stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and put on some resistors. So the PC board is not marked with the resistor values. You have to actually look them up. So like R60, this is R60. So then you have to go over to R60 and figure out actually what it is. And so where do we start? And then some are standing up, like these diodes are standing up, and these diodes are laying down flat. So you also have to do that. So why don't we start up here? That might be a good place to start. So R19 is a 470K, and we have the resistors here, 470K. The R values are here too. So R19. Oh, excellent. So you look at R19, and then the resistors are also marked R19. So let's see. Look at the resistor up. So it's this one. R19 is this one. Okay. So that makes it easy. And then R18. R17. Anyway, you get the idea. Then you just keep doing this until all your resistors are missing. All right, rinse and repeat. Okay, I have the components on the board now. If you want to take a look at that. There's quite a few components, so this is a pretty lengthy build. It's very straightforward, and the documentation is good, but there are a lot of parts. The only really tricky part was the fuse. The fuse is surface mount. These two pads here are surface mount, so that's kind of strange. And this is where the shunt goes. And the shunt gets into the way of one of the case parts. So make sure that there's enough room right here where my finger is. You need to be able to put your little finger in right there, because those things will stick in there. That's where the 4 contacts on the front go. So there's a large piece of plastic that needs to fit in there, so that I just needed to bend this back a little bit when I first put it in. There's some switches here. This is going to be tricky, this switch. I'm still trying to figure that out. And this is where the zebra connector goes onto the front. The zebra connector's in a bag here, so I'll get to that. But anyway, I want to show you the status here. After you put all the parts on, this is what it looks like. Okay, well, look at what we got here. I got it all together, and in full disclose, keeping me honest and keeping the channel interesting. I did something really stupid. I soldered the 9-volt battery connector on the board backwards. So guess what? I think it's dead. Oh man, I thought I'd be making a great video for the channel. Like, I need another voltmeter, right? But I thought it'd be fun. I thought maybe somebody could get enjoyment out of finding this project and doing it. Unfortunately, I killed mine. It sort of doesn't do anything. So I think the chip is dead. If I kind of put my fingers on something and push my fingers around, I can kind of get the LCD display to do a couple of the segments, but that's just the LCD doing its thing. It's dead. It's dead. Okay, so anyway, let's continue. Like, it works just great. So the display goes on the back here. So I'm going to show a series of pictures here on assembling this thing. There's a zebra strip. So the first trick you need to learn is that the display comes kind of mounted here, and it just pops right out. It just snaps in. It just pops right out. So you have to take it out of this in order to mount it on here. It's really fiddly. So there's 2 zebra strips, and then there's 2 screws on the back that apply pressure. And then once you get it attached, then this goes up inside like this, and well, now is part of the thing, and then this thing all fits together like you know, like a voltmeter. So there you go. Now there are some stickies. I put this on. But do not put this one on, okay? This one goes here, and don't be tempted to stick this on midway through, because the adjustments for making the meter work are through that hole and through that hole. So yeah, don't put this on yet. This is probably, you know, one of these is probably offset and voltage or current, maybe voltage and current or something like that. I don't know what the 2 adjustments do, because mine's broken. Anyway, so do this at the very last, okay? So just to take a look at it, there's one screw right here that the board holds the board down, and then there's a back. So there's no battery compartment. You just have to take the whole back off to change the battery, which is going to sit up in here. This whole thing has to come out, and then there is a soft rubber thing that you can put on the outside of it. And yeah, so let's see. Would I recommend it? Maybe if you're smarter than me. Would I recommend it? I did enjoy it until the part where I broke it. I did enjoy it. It's a lot of parts. So it's a nice kit where it does take a long time. It feels like putting together an old Heathkit piece of equipment. There's a lot of components, and they are marked really well, and the documentation is okay. You do end up with a working voltmeter, I imagine, which would be super cool. The test leads that come with it are rubbish, so yeah, you might want to put different test leads on it, but I'm sure they would work just fine. So I think it was $17, maybe $17.99, maybe $18, which is a very good price for a kit, and then a very good price for a DVM once you get done with one. So yeah, there you go. Let's see. There's one, two. Oh, there's three. There's three adjustments on the board. Anyway, like I said, keeping it real.